Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Sedro Woolley Rotary Club, the greatest Rotary Club in the universe. Thank you. Change is not a welcome thing, hence most people resist it. Changing can mean getting out of your comfort zone and starting afresh. However, the most successful people in life are those who have embraced change and adapted to it. People change quotes should encourage you that if others people did it, so can you. And with that, the invocation, Keith.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we are living in some really troubled times. We ask that you watch over, guide over, and lend your hand of love and support to our world leaders, our local leadership, even as at the level of our Rotary Club. Guide Rich, guide Phil, our incoming president, and our board, so that they might use the monies that were generated from our auction for the betterment of the community and the world. Thank you for all you do for us on a daily basis. Thank you for the food that you provided for us. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Four-way test. Is it truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerns? And the song, I believe Keith has got it here.
Let's have a rousing rendition of God Bless America. All right,
Okay.
Here we go. God bless America.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you, Keith. Do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Okay. Do we have any guest Rotarians out there? Ignored today. Okay. Some business to go through. I'll start with Brock. Are you out there someplace? Okay.
All right, well, it's that time of year, about a month before the 4th of July and the foot race. So we're gonna have to listen to me for every week till the 4th. So, but the only thing I really want to announce today is we do have sponsorships. So Becky Skildy should be sending out emails to people that did sponsorships last year. But if you didn't, and I'm looking at you, Mr. Johnson, and you, Mr. Heisman, and Mr. Skiles, I think Pioneer Market did a sponsorship last year. So hopefully, I think we have a $500 level and a $250 level. And Nick, you did a sponsorship last year too. So come on, just write the check. And anybody else? So Becky Skildy is handling that. So that's one of the things that have been put off onto some other people to help out Kyle from having to do that. So next week we'll start doing the organizations for the street corners and all those type of good things. And so we'll see you then.
Okay. And I would say Becky sent me a little reminder about that, and those are due by June 6th. So I will forward this out. We had computer problems and I couldn't send out my little weekly missive. So I'll try to send that out to everybody and know where you spend your money and how much it costs and what you get for your money and so on and so forth. So with that, we are at that point of Phil becoming president, and we need some nominations for 2 new board members. And so we would take those from the floor, and looks like I'm recognizing Phil at this point.
Thanks, President Rich. We have 2 members that have been nominated. That's Chad Paulson and Adria Santangelo. They've been nominated, and so we're looking for confirmation or any other nominations from the floor.
Okay. Do we have any nominations from the floor? Okay.
So President Rich, I would propose that we vote in Chad and Adrian here today.
Chad, do you want to give a speech? Well, with your shirt, you're a shoe-in there. With that, I need a motion or a vote on this. All in favor of Chad and Adrian becoming board members for the Rotary Club of Sedro Woolley, please say aye. Opposed?
Very good. Thank you. The ayes carry.
Thank you. I received all kinds of emails this week, and I got one from Chris Rothenbuehler, who is in charge of the summer concert series, and she needs help desperately. I'm in need of fellow Rotarians to help me out with the summer concert series. First show is July 24th. She needs help in a number of areas. So if there is anyone here who would like to help out Chris and help out the club with the summer concert series.
We got a volunteer.
Got a volunteer, Cheryl. Okay, very good. And she's going to put something on Facebook, but I'll be sending this out. So please, please volunteer. This has been a very successful program, this series every summer. And it's, I think it's something we really need to continue. So, but she does need some help in a number of areas. Chris says thank you. Chris says thank you. Okay. And I will be sending out her email to everybody if I can figure out how to attach it to an email. The other thing is that Becky also asked me to encourage the members of the club to attend their annual fundraiser, which is at the airport, at the museum out there. It's a fundraiser for the Helping Hands Food Bank. And it's going to feature Robert Gates. There are a couple of different options. One is the VIP option. The other one is just the general admission. And then finally, you can actually participate via Zoom. And so I will, again, I'll pass that on, and we encourage. Last year they raised over $100,000, and our goal this year for the food bank is $150,000. And so again, it's an opportunity to meet and ask some questions of Secretary Gates. And frankly, right now it'd be a very interesting time to be asking those questions and getting some perspective from him. And so that again is on June 25th at the Museum of Flight out at the airport. And so I encourage you all to participate in that. Are there other announcements today? Okay. And I believe that how long before we'll have some final numbers there? How long before we'll have some final numbers? Okay. Okay. We'll have a net figure fairly soon. Oh, okay. Steve's going to do that. Okay. So we'll have pretty soon, Steve. Okay, very good. With that, then I will turn things over to our raffle group. Or the
Do we have a
Wheel of
raffle?
Fortune, I guess.
All right, let's grab a number. What is it?
It's a gift certificate. I need to. You want to interpret or do you want me to actually say? We're given a gift certificate from CardQuest. Could be 25, could be 50, could be $100. I'm not telling you what it is, but if you'd like to raffle it for us, Sergeant of Arms.
All right, I'll start the bidding at $20. Anybody else want to go? 20, how about 25? 20, how about 30? We got 25, we're going for 30. Anybody for 30? Steve, this is a really good one. I would think you'd be in on it. We got 30 here. How about 35? Anybody at 35? It's for the Rotary Club. Hey, Bill back there, 35. 35 going, 35, looking for 40. Anybody got 40? Could be 50, you never know. Might be 100. Kyle, you're in at 45.
Yes.
40, 45. Okay, how about an even 50? Anybody at an even 50? We'll sell it twice at an even 50 right there. I got 50, 55. Anybody at 55? Fantastic. Anybody else at 55? We got 50. Sold. Tim,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay,
Louis,
Now for the-
maybe Louis has a late announcement here.
Louis?
Yeah, Mr. President, I was just wondering, there was an email that said we're going to have the installation on July 1st.
As far as I know, that is still when it is.
Okay,
Nobody's told me different.
All right. It's always better to be lucky than good. So number 45, come spin the wheel or get the wine. We got green wine. We got black wine. We got amber wine. There we go. He took wine. Number 62, Daryl. Are you going to be a whiner or are you going to spin the wheel? Hey, all right. Cash, and it pays. It pays. 25. Give the man 25 bucks. Very good. Number 37. Lucky number 37. That's Brock. Oh. What does that say? Yeah, you got $10 coffee. Good job. See if we have it over here before you go. If we don't have it, just take 10 bucks. And number 20, I think that is me. How about that? It's rigged, I'm sure. Hey, I'm going to Railroad Pizza and Pub. Right on. Railroad Pizza.
Is that it, Carl?
That's it for the raffle.
Okay. Sergeant Arms, I believe
All
that's
right.
you as well.
Moving on to the Sergeant at Arms. Now, I had a wonderful work party that I'm very happy about. You guys, you Rotarians who came out, Kyle and John Janicki and Eric and a bunch of Rich even came out. President Rich showed up. He was the last one to show up and the first to leave, but he was there. And I understand he has this really nice jacket that he left there. How much is it worth to you? There we go. That's very good. All right. That's what happens when you go to work parties.
But you have to know Yulia hid it from me and made me forget it.
Yeah, anything for Rotary. Well, I'm so happy I got a happy 50 for the party. So that was great. Thank you all. If you stand up. Sheena, stand up if you were there. Let's recognize you. Got Sheena. Eric. Kyle. Eric over there. Anyone else? All right. Thank you, guys. That was wonderful. We all learned how to do pavers and put in some decking. So that was great. All right. Eric, how's the sound system coming? No update, sorry. Rich, that'll be $1 for not managing him very much, and $2 for you, Eric. Stephen, can you help me pick up? And maybe Kyle, can you help me pick up? Okay, well, there we go. Kyle, you're off the hook. All right, so let's learn about Sedro Woolley. And I do all of these finds out of love. I want to tell you, not for any other reason. We love this club. So this table here, let's see. Travis, you're going to be the spokesman. Sedro Woolley is a combo of 2 names. You, of course, know that. What are they? It's a multi-part question. Sedro and Woolley. What year was Sedro Woolley incorporated? Okay, that'll be $2 for Bill because he's answering for Travis. All right, so which name, Woolley or Sedro, had another name before that? Bill, keep digging. 2 more bucks. All right, good job, guys. I'll move on. Okay. So what was the name that Sedro used to be before Sedro Don? Bug, correct. Why was it not named Bug? Shh. Bill, just give me $2 more over there. Yeah. All right, so why wasn't it named Bug? Well, that's actually partly true, but that wasn't the answer I was looking for. So that's $1 for everybody. So Teak, who was the person who wanted to name it Bug? Jim, $2 for you, speaking out of turn. Teak, who was the person that wanted to name it Bug? It was Mortimer Cook. Right, and so our police chief should know this. Dan, back to the original question, why did they not name it Bug? And it's a classic answer. Mortimer Cook's wife was very objectionable to it, and a lot of the other wives in the area didn't want to call it Bug. And the reason that Mortimer did want to call it Bug is because all the mosquitoes that were here. So there you go. You learned something. Yeah, so make sure everybody at this table paid at least $2. All right. Now to this table. Okay, so who was the founder of the area known, this region? Who originally homesteaded this area? Mr. Woolley. No, that's not even close, actually. So the original founder was David Beatty. He and 3 buddies, bachelors, from England, settled in this area. Now, what event in history caused them to want to settle here? Eric. The gold rush, that's a good guess, but no, $2 from you guys. So the answer to that is that if you remember your history, there was a great big log jam in Mount Vernon, and when that cleared, when the guys that cleared that got the river flowing, then this area was settleable, and that's why these 4 bachelors from England settled here. Okay, so the other part of the Sedro Woolley, we all know that Sedro is sort of a play on words from the Spanish word cedar, right? Cedar is C-E-D, Cedro, C-E-D-R-O, and Mortimer Cook changed it to S just to be, he liked playing with things. So that's what he did. All right. But what did the other half of Sedro Woolley, P.A. Woolley, what did he do? Let's go to this. We're going to go to the brain trust here, the attorney. Yeah. Brock, what did P.A. Woolley do? No. Bill he ran out of money. P.A. Woolley, what did he do? Now, David, do you want to pay some? How about $1 for whispering? Banker developer is not quite right. No, that'll be $1 from the table. All right. So where was he from, Chris? Mr. Woolley. No, before Woolley. He is not a true native. No. England. No, he is from Illinois. All right. So $2 from this table. Aren't you guys loving all this history you're getting today? Now, this is for an educator. We got a school board member here. All right. So the office administration, now this is according to Wikipedia, which has no political bias whatsoever and is always right. So what it says here is where the office administration teacher has told his students to sadly edit stuff on Wikipedia for an assignment in structure. This is on Wikipedia. What organization did that person work for? The Job Corps. How about that? The Job Corps. So there was some renegade teacher at the Job Corps that was telling students to edit Wikipedia just to make it more accurate, and Wikipedia didn't like that. So I guess not. So that's $1. Now let's see if we can get one more $1 and we'll call it good. How many people, Christine, are there currently, as of May of this year, living in Sedro Woolley, according to the internet? What's that? The city of Sedro Woolley. Well, according to the internet, whatever that is. Okay. I'll give you this one, 12,237. What is the average age of a Sedro Woolleyan? No way, she got it right. Good job. Only $1 from that table. All right, I'm going to pass it on to Happy Bucks. Anybody get happy? Anybody happy? And I'm happy, and I'm doing my $50. Anybody else? Don, he's happy. Here you go.
I got a happy 10. I didn't get to do this a couple weeks ago. My son finally graduated after 5 long years of college with his mechanical engineering degree and starting his new job Monday. So cool. Pretty happy about that.
Well done. You have more than one boy. Was this Donnie Jr.? Yeah, okay. And where's he working? South Dakota. Okay. Anybody else happy? All right. I return the meeting to our president, Rich.
Okay. And I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie to introduce our speaker.
All right, we have RB here from WSDOT, and she's going to give us an update on Mount Baker area.
I am. All right, I don't want feedback, so maybe I'll give one back to you. Oh, wow, this is animated. I didn't know that that was the case. Okay. Hi, I'm RB McKeon. I'm a local girl. I'm actually a Sedro Woolley girl, a transplant from Ferndale, which is where I grew up. I went to Western. My background is pretty much in government. Public service is something that means a lot to me. So I worked in the State House for a few years, Then I worked in DC for about a decade, came back and worked up at the BP Cherry Point refinery. And now I am the public information officer for WashDOT. We call it the Mount Baker area, which is Whatcom, Skagit Island, and San Juan counties. We're a part of the Northwest region, which goes all the way down to the King Pierce County line. I live on a small little 5-acre farm with my husband, Mikey. He is a firefighter, and our 2 dogs, Chopper and Rue. And I'm also president of the Ferndale Chamber of Commerce as a way to give back to a community that gave a lot to me. So as I mentioned, WashDOT divides the state into a number of regions. We are the Northwest region, and that is divided into 2 areas, the Mount Baker area, which is where we are today, and then the Snow King area, which is the rest of the region. We have 3 project offices, one in Bellingham, one in Mount Vernon, and one in Burlington. And then of course we have several maintenance facilities. Can we skip to the good part? You guys are like, I don't want to hear about you or, you know, how your offices are structured. So what's happening here? This is a map that shows sort of the State Route 20 corridor. So beginning here in Sedro Woolley and then extending up, our region changes at the top of the pass. So we reopened the pass. If you haven't been up there this year, it's just, they've had some incredible, beautiful weather and lots of bear sightings this year. So that's been kind of exciting to hear folks talk about and take pictures of. We have 3 types of work happening right now. We have emergency repair work, which I'll talk about. We have maintenance and preservation work, which is taking care of what we have. And then if you're familiar with fish passages, we have a lot of fish passage work. There are 2 sections of emergency repairs that we're doing. The one that is most local to Sedro Woolley is the Northwest Region Emergency Pavement Repair. Last year's winter was really hard on our roads. So if there was an area that we thought we could get a couple more years out of, that freeze, thaw, refreeze, rethaw that we had really did a number on some of our state roads. So we have an emergency contract out. It's 15 state highways in 4 counties, including SR 20 in Sedro Woolley. So from Helmick Road, there's a spot that we'll be working on, and then about a mile-long stretch between Nielsen Lade and Pinelli Road that we'll be working on. And basically, I'm going to talk about how that impacts travelers, because I think you guys want to know how it impacts you. You want to know how it impacts people trying to get to your businesses. And it'll be a single lane alternating traffic eastbound, westbound when we're doing that work. It's pretty quick work to fix. So we don't anticipate a lot of a long delay. Further up on State Route 20, if you've, like I said, headed over the pass, we have a temporary signal at milepost 113.7, which probably doesn't mean a lot to you, but it's sort of in that area around between Concrete and New Halem. And we had really significant damage to the roadway there. So traffic has been alternating in the westbound lane since November. So crews up there drilled really deep down into the earth, figured out what was going on, why it was unstable there. They designed the repair over the winter when we can't work up there. So we're going to build a soldier pile tieback wall, which is essentially big steel beams that will stabilize the slope there and repave and get folks on their way. But that work, unfortunately, will take place through the summer season. So if you have camping trips or trying to head over to the east side of the state, just expect some delays. We also have, it's not emergency work, but we have the Northwest Region HMA, which is hot mix asphalt, crack seal and pavement repair. We do this work pretty regularly, just sort of rotates through the region. So this year, there's a section of State Route 20 that we'll be working on. So I know you can't see that, but that's Fruitdale Road, I think. And yeah, Fruitdale Road to Van Horn Road up in Concrete. So folks will, our folks will pour down this liquid asphalt mix. So HMA is if you see, some people call it like the black snakes in the road, that's part of the work. So it's just a really cost-effective way of preserving the pavement that we have so we can get a longer lifetime out of it. Most of that work is done at night, and a pilot car helps travelers get through the area that we're working in. So we usually work in about 1 mile to 1.5 mile stretches. And again, it goes pretty quickly. So looking at minimal travel impacts there. And then we look at work that we're forecasting. So we plan our work ahead, and we have what we call the SR20 Swinomish Channel to Sedro Woolley Corridor improvements. So that is a roundabout project. Washington loves our roundabouts. So it looks like roundabouts at Gardner, District Line Road, and Collins Road, and then sort of rechanneling some of the way that traffic flows through there. We're constantly procuring data, evaluating collision data, safety data, and then also constituent and traveler input, since you all are the ones who drive those roads every day. And then we make some decisions about what to do to improve traffic flow and safety. And this is one of those projects. So this is scheduled for summer of 2023. We have a fish passage. So I love that none of our tributaries are named. So it's always unnamed tributary to some place. So this one is unnamed tributary to Red Creek. And that is, there's an existing fish passage barrier that's between Valeria Place and Sims Road. And we'll just pull it out and put it back in with a fish passable structure. We have one at Childs Creek. So that's Childs Creek to Skagit River, unnamed tributary. And that one is Valeria Place to just east of Robinson Road. So sort of right next to the one that I was just talking about. And again, we're just pulling out the structures that don't work for the fish, and we're replacing that with structures that are more fish passable. Something that we did at the end of last year was that we modified the speed limit on State Route 20 at milepost 64, which is kind of right in front of the Life Care Center of Skagit Valley on State Route 20. And we put out a press release. It was sort of in accordance with the city's current municipal code, and something that that currently, drivers to reduce their speed from 50 miles an hour to 35 miles per hour at the signalized intersection at Rhodes Road, Hodgin Street. And then we currently have a request from the city of Sedro Woolley that's under consideration to modify the intersection at Township, Moore, and I think that's 20, with a new set of turn lanes, so reconfiguring that intersection. It's also kind of fun to talk about what else we do. So we do a lot of snow and winter weather removal. So we're out there. WashDOT uses a prioritized route. So I-5 is always the most critical route to keep open, since the most traffic flows on that route. And then we work with state and local partners to make sure that our plans sort of complement their plans, and we get those roads plowed. Me with the flame glasses there is wildfire. So that's become a lot of the department's work in the summertime when we see those wildfires. Our message is always, whether it's winter or whether it's summer, road closed means road closed. So please don't try to make your own detours. We do a lot of sort of media relations and that sort of thing, just getting the story out, talking to groups like yours, letting folks know what we're doing, where we're going to be, how we're going to be impacting your businesses. Me in front of the mountain is Cascadia Rising. So if you've heard about that, it's a statewide emergency operations drill where we have a 9.0 earthquake and how that impacts infrastructure, and getting folks who would be coming in to help respond, helping the state respond to that type of incident, how they would be getting here, how long would it take to get roads, bridges, access back open, and that sort of thing. So that drill is actually in a few weeks. So we participate in things like that. And then me sitting on books is just, it's knowledge sharing, it's supporting other agencies. So during COVID response, WashDOT was at the Whatcom County EOC. We were talking to the Skagit County EOC, just making sure that we're good partners with our, with our local folks. And then I thought you guys might want to be my best friends. So how can you find more information about what we're doing? And the web is really a one-stop shop. We rebranded our website last year to make it more traveler friendly. So there's always real-time traffic data there about all of our state routes and highways. There's information about construction projects. There's mountain pass information. So it's really a good one-stop shop. You can always download our app from whatever app store you have, whether that's Apple or the Google store, and you get alerts right to your cell phone. You can see little maps of where incidents are happening. So if you're traveling, especially down south, that's kind of a useful tool. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we're newly on TikTok, but I'm not cool enough for that, so I didn't put it on there. I don't even know what our TikTok handle is. But Wash.North is the Twitter account where we post the most real-time information about everything that we're doing. So I encourage you, if you're not following us, to follow us. It's a pretty fun site. We send out a weekly newsletter, usually on Thursdays, so you can always subscribe to that. And you're welcome to email or call me anytime and ask questions. We're always happy to, share the information that we have, or I can put you in touch with our project managers and engineers who are way smarter than I am about what we're actually doing or how we designed a road or something like that. That's my presentation because I don't really like PowerPoint, but I thought that I would take some questions. I'm not an engineer. I'm not like a bridge designer or anything. So if we can keep the technical questions to a minimum, I'm happy to take your name and number and have someone call you about it. But I'm happy to field any questions you all have. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat. Sure. Gray shirt.
Hired up here right now?
Do we have all of our staff hired? No, we always have openings, especially on the maintenance side of things, just having folks who are good qualified people. We actually have a really cool program called High School to Highways for seniors who are finishing their their senior year up. They can apply, and sort of at the end of that, it's kind of like trade school, but you basically start as a paid employee of the state, and we'll train you up, and you can have, a 20, 30-year maintenance career with us. So we're always looking for people. We hire full-time, part-time, and seasonal. Obviously, not always the most popular thing to say, depending on the crowd, but there is a vaccine requirement to be a state employee. That's Governor Jay Inslee's requirement, not mine. But you're, as long as you fulfill the requirements, most of the time, it's a pretty robust interview process, but most of the people that I work with every day have been there for a really long time and like their jobs. But there's more and more and more work to be done. And actually a lot of folks have retired over the last few years. So yeah, if you know people, you're free to send them our way. We also have a great careers job site on washdot.wa.gov that, you can look, and it's everything from, recruiters and finance folks, people like me who do communications, graphic designers, to people who, physically engineer and build our roads and highways.
So there was a lane out on the road between Duval and Carnation.
Today?
No, it got fixed within the last year,
Okay.
but it was out for like 2 years with a temporary stop sign there. How is that? How come it takes that long to fix such an important road?
It's a great question. I'm not familiar with that specific road. I can say that we're also hearing that about State Route 20 up at milepost 113, like I was talking about. Why is it taking so long? That's, one lane east, one lane west, east-west connector across the state. Sometimes it just takes a long time to understand what's happening and then to design the repair. So for example, a bridge can take up to 2 years to design. It's not always plug and play. So the Skagit Valley Herald just asked a question about, did you learn anything from the washout that you had this year on 20 that you could apply in another situation? And the truth is not really, because each bridge, each road, and the composition of the earth underneath, the way that the water runs through there, it just doesn't, it doesn't lend itself to like the plug and play model. So I'm happy to take that one and sort of find out, what that road was and specifically why it took so long. But overall, sometimes things just take a long time to understand and then repair.
Difficult, but China built this hospital because of COVID in 10 days. And so I don't understand why it would take 2 years to fix a road.
Sure, I think that that's a fair statement. I'm not here to dispute that 2 years is a long time. Did you have a question?
A couple things. One, I just want to say, so I'm apparently a bestie because I follow Facebook, and you guys do a great job of communicating. Specifically, I love seeing the reports of the past and what stage it's at, and the pictures are great, and it just kind of brings us along on the journey, which is really awesome. So my question is about I-5. So I literally was last week hauling a motorcycle on a trailer up to Bellingham, and it bucked and bronked so bad that I broke straps and the motorcycle fell over. And just thinking about I-5 all the way down to Vancouver and up to Bellingham, it seems like we are falling so far behind on repair and maintenance of I-5. So what you didn't talk about I-5 at all? What's in store for I-5?
That is a good question. So we've done a couple of paver projects. There's another one that is Joe Leary Slough to Nully Road that I think it's either late this year or early next year, in the queue for that. To be honest with you, we both know that we're behind on maintenance and preservation work, and then talking about prioritization, it's prioritizing dollars, right? And so sometimes we have work that has to be done. So it'll be emergency repair work and we have to shift resources. And then it's also, I-5 was built a long, long time ago. And it was, I don't think if I was, sitting here talking to you in 1950, that I would ever imagine that I-5 is used to the magnitude that it's used today. And I think that we're starting to rethink the way that we take care of, what we have and try to get the most life out of it. There's the constant like paver projects, like I just talked about with Joe Leary Slough to Nully Road. So we've done a couple of those. There's more in the queue for that. And so that's resurfacing the roadway. There's certainly projects that take place. So if we have a fish passage, so if you think South Bellingham, sort of in that Fairhaven area, we had 2 big fish passages there that had to be put in. So we did, repave that section of roadway when we took out the old culverts, put in new culverts. And it's best available technology, right? So if we can do something better today than we did it before, we make incremental improvements, but will you ever see the Canadian border to the Oregon border repaved in a year? Probably not. Even though I think, that's what a lot of people would like, but we always appreciate, if there was a specific place that you were and you had a really bad experience, let us know and we'll send out crews to evaluate that area. And if we need to make a short-term repair, whether that's, fixing a pothole or doing something on the shoulder, or letting a project office know, hey, I think you need to include this in your work. We're happy to do that. The Northwest Region pavement emergency repair project that I was mentioning does include some sections of I-5. but we also hear, if you're someone who travels State Route 9 often, they want the resources sort of diverted to those roads. And so it's a bit of a balancing act.
As far as I'm aware, there's 2 programs for cleaning up alongside the highways. It's like the ecology people or ecology crews and Adopt a Highway. Is Adopt a Highway still going on, and are there ecology crews coming on? I've seen some down south, but not so much around here.
Yeah, so there's actually a couple of programs. There's Adopt a Highway, which is volunteers sort of taking responsibility for a section of road and, cleaning that up on whatever frequency they have. So the Mount Baker Foothills Chamber of Commerce just did a big section along State Route 542 and, removed a bunch of litter there. Our crews have been back out. Adopt a Highway was suspended during COVID. So we went 2 years without that program in place. The Department of Ecology is the Ecology Youth Corps. So they primarily, you'll see a lot of them out during the summer, and they pick up litter, and then WashDOT comes through and we pick up all the white bags, all the litter, that's been collected. And then the Department of Corrections also has a program where they have folks who are a part of their program out on the roads, with supervision, also picking up litter, and we come through and pick up their, collection as well. So we hear, I can tell you the 3 things that I hear the most about: litter on the highways, which is a team effort, right? What we also need is people to not litter. And I think sometimes that message gets lost along the way. We just want someone to clean it up and, make it look pretty. But what we really need is for people to throw trash in trash cans. I hear a lot about graffiti, although not so much in this area. And there's debate amongst the public. Is it appropriate to remove graffiti? Or should we just leave it there because it's going to get, redone? So there's some debate there, but I hear a lot about graffiti. And then I hear a lot about encampments and encampment removal along WashDOT right of way. And, what are we doing about that? And again, that's a partnership. We're not a social service agency. We're not those experts. And so it's really partnering with law enforcement and local communities to do that. So does that answer your question about litter? I believe that they're paid. I think that it's like a summer job, but I don't know for sure. Thanks. Well, we got 2 packages this year. We got a really big federal package, and then the state passed, a supplemental transportation package. So Move Ahead Washington. If it's Move Forward or Move Ahead, I think it's Move Ahead Washington. And then the federal infrastructure bill. So as that's allocated out and we get funding, some of it is predetermined, right? We don't have a say over where it gets spent or how it gets spent. And then some of it is, discretionary. I think that there's often a bit of a misconception about how much we get from gas tax. So, we always hear Washington has one of the highest gas taxes in the country. And so people expect that with that high of a tax, that we must just get, 40 cents of it. And that's not true. It's allocated. We're paying off old bonds. Some of it is designated to local programs. And then at the end of the day, we get about 8 cents. And so 8 cents is safety, maintenance, preservation, that sort of thing. And so when you're looking at 8 cents, we make a really strong effort to make that go as far as it can. But like I said, we know we're behind on some things. And then, you have a really bad winter and you have a culvert to repair out on State Route 544 near Everson. You have, all of this work to do on 20 that we weren't expecting. You got to shift resources and, and reallocate. resources aren't just money, resources are people. And so back to your point about, are we staffed up? No, like we'd love to have you. Like, do you have skills? Like, do you want to like work on our roads? We'd love to have you. Like, sign up.
With you have a lot of projects going on State Route 20 between here and Burlington and all the way up over the North Cascades. Is there any plans from your side looking at the Cook Road interchange? Because I know the city is really interested in that as well as the county.
Yep.
And there's got to be some balance of work between Burlington Northern, DOT, and all those entities. But it really became magnified by the water over the roadway that we had between here and Burlington this last fall, and probably going to experience that going forward as well, as far as the bottleneck and the utilization that we're going to need for that with your Cascade Rising emergency programs, because all these places becomes bottlenecks for us as far as evacuation plans, the emergency access. And we all know that every morning when there's nothing going on, that road is backed up all the way to District Line, and sometimes with all the people going to and from work. So
yeah, we're constantly talking about Cook Road. And that interchange, there's been 2 phases of a study, which you can roll your eyes, it's okay. But part of what we believe is impractical solutions, which is spending the right dollars at the right place at the right time. And you have to understand the problem before you just throw money at it, because that's not being a good steward of your taxpayer dollars either. And so we're on phase 2 of studying Cook Road, and there's a lot of stakeholders that are a part of that. So, someone suggested, and I mean, I'll take any suggestion back to the project office. So if you have solutions, I'm all ears. But, someone was like, hey, can you just build a flyover over the railroad? Like, can't just do that, right? Like BNSF obviously has some opinions about whether or not that's good, bad, indifferent. And then collecting the data. So how much traffic really is there? And is it as simple as reconfiguring lanes or rechanneling lanes? And I think that, I mean, I'm in Sedro Woolley talking to you all. I don't know. How do you all feel about ramp meters? Like, is that too close to like King County and, and big roads? We can't widen I-5, right? Like, so that's not going to happen. But, putting a ramp meter on, the on and off ramp is something that we've definitely talked about. We continue to talk about, and sometimes the public is like all for it and they think it works great and they see it working in, Seattle or Sumner or Puyallup, those areas. And then some people are just like, we don't want that here. Like, we'd rather not start taking on that kind of stuff, because that all then has maintenance costs and things like that. So Cook Road is very much a topic of conversation. I think people are surprised to hear that, and you're in uniform. So are you EMS fire? Okay, so you might disagree with me, but the data that we've collected over, the last decade or more shows that we don't have major incidents. We don't have a lot of fatalities at Cook Road. It's not to say that it's ideal. It's, no one thinks that like the backup all the way onto, I-5 is a good situation, but we're not seeing that. And so sometimes we have to go look at areas where we do see more serious collisions and fatalities, and again, prioritize and direct resources there instead of places like Cook Road. But everybody talks about Cook Road.
In your presentation, you said there were going to be 3 roundabouts on Highway 20.
Mm-hmm.
What are the scheduled dates for each one of them?
That's a great question. I don't know. Can I go back to my presentation? Okay. So I think that project is scheduled for 2023, and roundabouts are.
there's a pointer on there too.
Am I going? I can't go backwards. Oh. All right. So let's see. Yes. 1.5 miles construction summer 2023. We'll do them all in the same summer. Roundabouts are pretty easy. We've gotten pretty good at them, so it doesn't take us very long to do it. And we tend to think that one construction season where we ask you to bear with us and make that 1.5 miles really difficult for one construction season is better than saying, well, we're going to inconvenience you to do roundabout number 1 in 2023. And then we're going to come back in 2024 and do the other one, but it's going to be an inconvenience again. And then, oh, wait, we said we were going to do 3. So we got to come back again in 2025. So we'll just do all 3 in the same year. That's what it's scheduled right now. It's a little bit subject to change just based on what Mother Nature does, or, you know, what other priorities get passed down to us. But yeah, right now that's what we're looking at. I'm not the procurement expert, but there is a very clear process for how the state both hires its contractors and what and how much and all of that we source. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, I can put you in
It might
touch.
affect your delivery schedule for 2023 is all.
Well, correct. I mean, we, for example, fish passage culverts, we used to do them, you know, like a couple a year. And now because we're working towards this 2030 deadline, we order a lot of them and supply hasn't caught up to demand. So for example, I have 3 fish passage projects up in Linden this year. And the Linden Fair is a really big deal. And so we also have a fish window, which means, you know, we have to work around the fish's schedule, which is fine. But it means that we're delayed already because I can't get a culvert. It means that the steel beams that I need for the work on State Route 20 take a longer time to get here. So yeah, supply chain issues are real. And I know we're not the only ones that are impacted by them. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you for a great program. With that, I think we're going to adjourn. If you can stay and help pick up, put away the tables, it would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by Team June. So thank you, and we'll see you next week.